Hello, I hope that you are having a good day and had a good week. I hope that you are staying healthy and well. And today, I would love to offer you a flow style class. So this class is going to incorporate more dynamic movement, and we are going to move through it together. So I will offer modifications. This is good for all levels, and just take it at your own pace. If there's ever anything that doesn't feel comfortable for you, go ahead and skip it, take a rest, find a child's pose. I am just here to offer you some guidelines and suggestions, but ultimately this is your practice. So come on and meet me on the mat and we can go ahead and get started. We are going to begin today's class in a child's pose. So just coming to a child's pose on your mat, your big toes to touch, knees about the width of the mat, and arms reaching forward in front of you. Allowing your forehead to rest on the mat as your hips settle back towards your heels. Making this an active child's pose, so you are reaching fingers towards the top of your mat, and forearms are lifting up off of the mat. Take a full breath in here. Exhale, settle your heart space towards the ground. And then breathe in, walk your hands over towards the right edge of your mat, grounding down through your left sits bones, opening into the left side body. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, walking your fingertips through center and over towards the left, settling through your right hip, and finding that length and space in the right side body. Breathe into that space. Breathe into your muscles on the right side of your body. And then inhale, arms back towards center. Find one more reach long towards the front of your mat. And then find yourself moving into a tabletop position. So finding this position solid and grounded first. Your knees stacked underneath your hips. Your wrists underneath your elbows, underneath your shoulders. Crown of the head is reaching long towards the front of the room, and tailbone reaches towards the back of the room. Moving through some cow-cat tilts here to warm up the spine. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze and lift your tailbone for a cow. Exhale, press the mat away, round your belly button towards your spine. Inhale to your cow. Exhale to your cat. Rounding through the spine, sending all the air out of your lungs. Inhale. And exhale here. Full breath in brings you to your cow. Keeping your gaze so that it's about the top edge of your mat, not extending your neck too much here, causing any unnecessary strain. Exhale to your cat. Moving through that 3 more times, use your own breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Full breath in. Full breath out. Once more, just like that. Then coming back to your tabletop, back to your neutral spine, we're going to move into our first downward facing dog here. Tucking your toes, lift up and back, finding your down dog. Pressing into your palms, sending your hips up towards the sky and your heels towards the mat. So once again, I'll offer you my favorite modification here if you have really tight hamstrings or any issues with your low back. Going ahead and bending into your knees so that you can really send your hips up without that extra stress of worrying about stretching through your hamstrings. Take a big breath in here as you press through your fingers, pressing through your palms. And go ahead and bend into one knee and then the other, walking out your feet, pedaling out your feet here. Bending into your right knee and the left heel reaches towards the mat. Bending into your left knee and then the right heel reaches towards the mat. So just moving through that a few times here. Waking up the hamstrings and the backs of the legs. Find some stillness. Take a big breath in. And long breath out. Inhale, lift your right leg up, pressing through the heel like you're going to make an imprint of your foot on the back wall. Doing your best to keep your hips even with each other instead of fanning open through the right hip. One more big breath in, press through the heel. Exhale, pull your knee in towards your chest and step your foot forward, taking as many little steps as you need to bring your right foot between your hands. Inhale here. Exhale, release your left knee down, and inhale, lift up through your arms. So always the option when you lower your back knee to put a blanket under your knee, especially if you have sensitive knees. Inhale, lift up through your fingers, relax through your shoulders. Exhale, settle into your legs. Inhale, reach up through your fingertips. Take your right hand and cup around your left wrist. From here, on your next inhale, begin to bend over towards your right side. So you should feel a nice opening all along the left side of the body here. Using your right hand as a gentle assist to your left arm to stretch up and over towards the right. Inhale. Exhale to reach and settle your hips forward. One more breath here. Inhale, back up towards center. Frame your front foot with your fingertips, your hands. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Step back, downward facing dog. Full breath in. And out. Inhale, lift your left leg high, keeping your hips even and pressing your left heel towards the back of the room. Take a full round of breath here, really continuing to press into your palms. One more inhale, and exhale, pull your knee in towards your chest and step all the way forward, breathing here. And then lowering your right knee, untucking your right toes, inhale to lift fingertips up. Settling into your hips. You can always shift your weight a bit back if it's a lot for the front of the right leg. From here, moving into that nice full side body stretch, take your left fingers and cup them around your right wrist. And then reach up and over towards the left. Feeling the opening all through the right side of the body. Using that assist from your left hand. And breathing into the space between your ribs on your right side. Inhale. And exhale. Find 2 more rounds of breath here, taking your own pace, your own inhales and exhales. Letting your breath guide you. Inhale, back up towards center, reaching through fingertips, releasing shoulder blades down the back. And then release your hands to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee, step back, downward facing dog. Full breath here together, in and out. You can always exhale through your mouth to release a bit more heat from the body. Together, we are going to move through what is called a vinyasa. So first, we're going to move through it in a modified version, and then we can move through in a full version. There's tons of options, and you can always skip these all together in favor of a child's pose like we did in the beginning of our class. Inhale, find yourself floating into a high plank. Pulling your belly button in towards your spine, pressing through your palms, pressing out through your heels. Lower your knees down to a modified plank. Untuck your toes. And then hugging your elbows in towards the body, release all the way down onto the mat. Inhale, you're going to press into the tops of your feet and lift your chest and head up off of the mat. On your exhale, tuck your toes, use your knees, press up and back to a downward facing dog. So that can always be your vinyasa. Moving through, keeping your knees down, moving to your belly, fighting a baby cobra. So you can do that again, or moving through a full vinyasa with a chaturanga. Inhale to your high plank, either keeping your knees lifted or lowering them. Exhale to your low push-up, almost like a tricep push-up here. Hugging your elbows in. Inhale to an upward facing dog, extending through your elbows, lifting knees up off the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big full breath in and out. Inhale, shift your gaze forward and tiptoe your feet all the way up towards your hands, hanging in a forward fold. So you can find your forward fold here, just letting your fingertips graze the mat. If you would like, you can find a ragdoll, grasping opposite elbows, and just allowing your head to hang heavy. Releasing through the back of your neck, your cervical spine, and just swaying side to side, keeping a bend in your knees. If you would like a bit more release for the back of your neck, maybe shaking your head yes and no. Letting yourself become heavier on your exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release your hands down, and then slowly rolling all the way up to the top. Imagining the bones of your spine, your vertebrae, stacking one on top of the other until you're all the way up in a standing position. You can find mountain pose by turning your hands to face the front of the room, grounding through your feet. Your big toes can touch, or they can be about hips width apart. Relaxing your shoulder blades down the back. Reaching the crown of your head up towards the sky. Feeling really strong, rooted, grounded in your mountain pose. And breathe here. Feeling the ground support you. And then I invite you to draw your hands to your heart. You can let your thumbs rest on your sternum. to an intention for your practice today. Whatever you would like to invite in. Whatever you need a bit more of. Inhale, breathe that in. And exhale, release your hands back out towards your sides for your conscious mountain pose. And together, we are going to begin with 2 rounds of Sun Salutation A. So same thing applies when we do the vinyasa portion. You can modify it to what feels good for you, or you can skip it altogether and just stay in a downward dog or find a child's pose. Just listen to your body and what it needs today. Inhale, lift your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, drawing your arms through center, find a forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Your fingertips will come to your shins as the crown of your head reaches towards the front of your room. And then exhale, release your hands down onto the mat. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back and come to your high plank, keeping knees lifted or releasing them down onto the mat. Exhale to lower yourself into your low push-up or onto your tummy. Inhale to find your upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, shift your gaze forward and step your right foot forward. Step your left foot forward and fold in half. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reaching with fingertips out and up. And then let your hands float towards your heart. Inhale, lift up, moving through that once more. Exhale to fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, release your hands down. Step your left foot back. Step your right foot back. And then take your version of your vinyasa. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling to find your heart opener, your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. And full breath out. Inhale, shift your gaze forward. Step your left foot forward. Step your right foot forward and fold here. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach up towards the sky. Hands come to your heart and release your arms out. Now, moving into our balance, we are going to move through an eagle pose today. So I'll walk you through it. Moving into our arms first, and then we are going to configure our legs. If you have any trouble balancing, you can always use a wall as your friend to give you a little bit of stability, or just play with the arms or just play with the legs. Just see what you want to do today. You're just probably in your living room, so do what feels good. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, go ahead and tuck your right arm underneath your left. And if you can, wrapping your palms together so that they touch. If that doesn't feel good, bring the backs of your hands together or just hug around your shoulders. So finding the version that best suits your arms, best suits your shoulders. Then, bending into your knees, come light on right toes and lift your right knee up and over your left. Same thing here. You can wrap your right toes around your left calf, or you can keep your right toes kickstanded on the ground. Wherever you've chosen to be, inhale. allow yourself to breathe. Find a steady spot to gaze at. In yoga, we call that our drishti. Hugging all of your joints together here. Everything towards the center line, the midline of the body. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. Maybe as you explore the pose, you can settle a bit deeper into your legs. And then release your legs, release your arms, reach up, and just shake that out. Let it go before moving on to the other side. So we know where we're going this time, just moving through it on the left. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, bring your left arm underneath your right arm. Same options. You can have palms together, backs of the hands together, or wrap your shoulders. Then, bending into your knees, coming light on left toes. And then, to the extent that you're comfortable, wrapping your left leg around your right. So maybe that's through kickstanding your left toes. Maybe that's wrapping your calf. Just find the version that suits you on this side today. And breathe here. Take the next 3 breaths to explore your pose and where you would like to take it. Last full round of breath. Inhale. And exhale. Release your legs, release your arms, reach up, shake it out, let that go. And coming back to the top of your mat, releasing your arms out, finding your conscious mountain pose. Inhale, reach through fingertips. Exhale and fold in half. Inhale, comes to your halfway lift, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, release your hands down and either step your feet back or jump into your high plank if you're stepping. If you're jumping back, coming right into your tricep push-up. Exhale to lower into your tricep push-up, knees down or lifted. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale to downward facing dog. And just a reminder, coming right to down dog or to child's pose is always, always an option. Inhale, lift your right leg high, finding your 3-legged dog like we did in the beginning. Exhale, hug your knee in towards your chest and step it forward, coming into your lunge. So for this lifted lunge, doing your best to keep your right knee stacked over your right ankle, pressing out through your left heel. Keeping your fingertips reaching up while your shoulder blades settle down your back. Full breath in. Exhale to settle into your legs. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, opening into a warrior 2. So letting your fingertips reach in opposite directions. The back edge of your left foot is going to be parallel to the edge of your mat, and right toes are still facing towards the front of the room. releasing your shoulders down and doing your best to keep your shoulders in line with your hips here. Finding a steady gaze over your right middle fingers. And then doing your best to send your right knee towards the right. Finding that opening action, that external rotation in your front hip. And breathe here. From this place, we are going to move with our breath. On your inhale, bring your right forearm to your right thigh, reaching left fingertips up and overhead. Exhale, moving through your warrior two, releasing your left hand down your left leg and reaching right fingertips overhead. Inhale, moves you forward. Exhale to your exalted warrior. Once more, inhale. And exhale, release back. Inhale back to your warrior two, straighten into your front knee. Bring your hands to your hips. We're going to move into a pyramid pose from here. So just walking your back toes in and having your left toes and your right toes facing the front of the room. You want your feet to be not in line with each other, but more parallel to each other, and so that your feet are more on the trajectory of your hip. So not bringing feet in together, they're more like they're on railroad tracks, if you want to use that analogy. Bringing your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your heart space towards the sky. And exhale, begin to fold forward. You can bend as much as you need into your front right knee. And then releasing your hands to either side of your front foot. You can always use blocks here, or just bring your hands to your shins or calves if you don't have a block. But if it's accessible to you, bending into your front knee as much as you need to, and then doming your forehead towards your knee. The crown of the head will be reaching towards the floor. This should feel like a really nice release after moving through that lunge and warrior two stance. Just allowing your head to hang heavy and letting whatever is on your shoulders just roll right off of them. Let the heaviness go, at least for the next few minutes in your practice. And we will spend 2 more breaths here together. After your last breath, keeping your hands to frame your right foot, wiggle your left foot back, coming back into your lunge, and then stepping back to your downward dog, your child's pose, or moving through your vinyasa. So if you're moving through your vinyasa, inhaling to float out to your high plank, dropping your knees if you'd like. Exhale to lower through your low push-up, maybe onto your belly if that's the version you're taking. Inhaling to your heart opener, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, hug your knee in towards your chest and step it forward. Inhale, lift up, coming into a lunge on the opposite side. Same thing here, pressing out through the right heel, bringing your left knee as best you can in line with your left ankle and settling into your hips. feeling really strong, grounded and rooted in your lower body, light, and finding that bit of ease in your upper body. Inhale, lift through fingertips. Exhale, settle into your legs. Your next inhale will bring you to your warrior two. So I'm going to shift around so that I can still show you, but staying the way that you are. The outer edge of your right foot will be parallel to the mat, the short edge of the mat, and your left toe is facing the front of the room. Opening your left knee towards the left, once again finding the external rotation in the hip as you reach long through your fingertips. Settling through your shoulders and breathing here. Trusting in the strength of your front leg, even when it feels a little bit shaky like mine does right now. With our next breath, moving here. So inhale to reach forward, extended side angle. Left forearm comes to the left thigh. Exhale to exalted warrior, left fingertips reach back. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, draws you back to your warrior two. Straighten into your front knee. Bring your hands to your hips. Wiggle your right foot in, and we are going to come into pyramid pose on this side. So finding your base, sending all your toes towards the front of your room, keeping your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift your heart space towards the sky, and exhale to fold forward. Once again, maybe you want to use your blocks here or a book. And exhale to fold. Forehead reaching towards your left knee, crown of your head reaching towards the floor. And just breathe here. This is one of my absolute favorite poses. Let yourself find some of the ease here. We've put in a lot of effort. One last breath, inhale. And exhale. Moving your blocks out of your way if you use them. Keeping your hands framing your front foot. Wiggle your right foot back. And then release your left foot back. Find your downward facing dog. Staying in your down dog, finding child's pose, or moving through your vinyasa with your own breath. So just picking the option that's right for you, right for your body. And then we will all join each other in downward facing dog. Inhale will bring us all to our high plank, releasing down onto your forearms. You can keep your knees lifted or drop them. Just taking 3 breaths in our forearm plank. Keeping your gaze between your thumbs, a long spine. Feeling your belly button pull towards your spine. Last breath, inhale. Exhale, release your belly down, release the tops of your feet down, find your Sphinx pose. Let your core muscles rest from that one. Pulling your heart space forward, crown of the head reaching up. Settle here. Maybe your heart rate's a bit up and you can really feel that once we've found this piece of rest here. And then release, make a little pillow with your hands and release your forehead or one of your cheeks onto the backs of your hands. And then from here, centering your forehead or chin onto the mat, we are going to find a full locust. So releasing back, reaching back with your fingertips. You can have your fingertips tented. And then, inhale, lift your legs up off the mat. On your next in-breath, lift your head, neck, and chest off the mat. And then maybe your hands follow. Thumbs turning and lifting up towards the sky. Palms facing out. Squeezing your shoulder blades together. Full breath in, lift up a little bit higher. And exhale, release down. Make your pillow once again, resting your forehead or the opposite cheek onto the mat. I like to have my big toes touching with my heels splaying apart. It just helps me to release into my low back a little bit more. So you can go ahead and try that. Feeling your heartbeat on the mat here. And then bring your palms underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes, use your knees, press up and back to one more downward facing dog. If you'd like, moving through a last vinyasa pass, following your breath to your inhale. Your exhale to lower. Inhale to find your back bend. And exhale to bring yourself back to downward facing dog. You can always find your child's pose. Inhale, shift your gaze forward and walk your feet all the way up towards your hands. Have a seat here. Feet reach long on the mat. Inhale, lift up through fingertips. And exhale, fold forward. Just allowing gravity to help you into your forward folds. Letting your hands fall wherever they might. So that can be your shins, your toes, past your toes, whatever it is for you today. Letting your body find some of that ease, some of that rest in your forward folds. Finding the counter to all of that effort that you just put in with your vinyasa flow practice. On your next inhale, allowing your vertebrae to stack one on top of the other, reaching the head up towards the sky. And then bring your arms out in front of you, palms face down. And allow yourself to roll back. Taking your time and then releasing totally onto your back. On your next inhale, draw your right knee in towards your chest for single knee to chest. Flexing into both of your ankles. The hamstring on your left leg really pressing towards the mat. Inhale here. And exhale, hugging your knee in towards the center line of the body. Then moving into a hip stretch, into our figure four. Bring the sole of the left foot onto the mat. The right ankle crosses over the left thigh. You can stay here. This is enough for the outside of the right thigh. Or you can interlace your hands behind the left thigh. Hugging your legs in a bit closer. It's a bit more intense for the outside of the right thigh. Flexing into your feet. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, letting yourself move into a twist from here. So you can release the back of the left leg and allow your legs to fall over towards the left. So if this is really a lot on the outside of the right hip, you can always just bring your knees to touch and find a more traditional twist, or you can keep your right knee facing up towards the sky, keeping that additional hip opening. Letting your right arm come out to either a goalpost or a T, and shifting your gaze over your right shoulder, finding your twist here. Inhale, drawing your knees back up towards center. Release the sole of the left foot down, sole of the right foot up towards the sky. And then leading with the heel, let your leg float all the way down onto the mat. Releasing both legs long. Then moving into the opposite side. Inhale, bring your left knee in towards the chest for single knee to chest. Flexing into both of your ankles. This time, the hamstring on the right leg is reaching towards the mat. Feeling your heart rate and breathing beginning to slow. Preparing to find that easeful rest in our practice, the very end, in this case. And then bringing the sole of the right foot onto the mat, crossing your left ankle over your right thigh, staying here, or interlacing your hands behind the right thigh. Flexing into your feet. Finding your figure four on this side. One hip might be a little bit tighter than the other, and just noticing that. I'm definitely not. It's symmetrical. Staying here for a few more breaths. And then moving into your twist. So that can be keeping the left knee up as you twist open, keeping that additional hip opener, or bringing your knees together to twist in that way. Bringing your left arm out to either a goalpost or a T, gaze shifting over towards the left. Draw your legs back up towards center. Sole of the right foot releases to the mat. Sole of the left foot up towards the sky. And then just letting your left foot float down towards the mat. Letting both legs reach long. Exhale, feel your body settle onto the mat. Inhale, bring both knees towards your chest. You can lift your head and neck up if you'd like, doming your forehead towards your knees, cupping your knees or reaching for opposite wrists, hugging everything together, and then releasing out long, finding your position for your Shavasana. Right toes towards the right edge of the mat, left toes towards the left. Letting your shoulder blades slide underneath you. And taking these next few minutes for yourself to rest, to breathe and to receive your practice. Begin to bring your attention back to your room, back to your mat, back to your breath. And on your next inhale, welcome some movement into your body. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe reaching long, full body stretch, fingertips all the way down to your toes. And then hugging both knees in towards your chest. And letting yourself fall over onto your right side before pushing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. You can keep your eyes closed if that's comfortable and draw your hands towards your heart. Thumbs resting on your sternum. Thanking yourself for taking this time for your practice today. And thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. The light and love in me sees and honors the light and love in you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next week. And I'm sending you well and healthy wishes as always during this time. And always. Thank you so much.